Just be like...
This shit was great. Gabriel, you want to introduce the movie?
We watched The Unholy.
The Unholy.
The Unholy.
The new horror movie from Sony Pictures.
And it was
really good. Right?
it was something. I very much gave me The Nun, but
bad.
The
Nun is awful.
Way lower fucking quality.
But that movie's already bad.
I know, the bar really was a fucking hell.
Yeah, there was nowhere to go with this movie.
The bar was in hell. Get it? Because it's religious.
Get it? It's religious. So the I already forgot the name. The Unholy. The Unholy is the new horror movie produced by Sam Raimi. And the entirety of the ad campaign is like, it's produced by Sam Raimi, who made Evil Dead. Like, they're hyping up the movie that way, because there's no other way to hype it up. Because the main actor is Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah.
And most people probably... I'm sure some people know who he is. But he's not like an A-list celebrity to get you to go to the theater.
Yeah. But his performance, for the most part, I thought it was good, but it's kind of unbelievable some parts. He just completely fucking unbothered.
Every character.
Every
character. A scene will just happen with like a demon, and it'll just come out of the fucking... It came out of his computer at one point and jump scared him. I mean, he was just like...
Oh, wow, that was crazy.
He's like, I gotta go talk to people about this.
Let me go send an email.
Every time. So the plot of the movie is about this witch hanging trial, sort of a witch trial.
Yeah.
In 1845, they mask this witch, they hang her there, leave her there, and then a bunch of years later, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays a journalist, discovers this doll that they contain the witch in.
Yes.
And I forget what they're called. What are the doll names? Corn babies?
Something like that.
Corn dolls. And this one had chains on it and a date that's false. She was hanged on February 31st, which is obviously not a real date. 1845. And then he steps on the doll to make a better story because he's like, well, I need a demonic story, so if I step on the doll, it'll look cool. And then that releases not the Virgin Mary, but a person named Mary who was killed that time.
Yeah.
And then a girl who is deaf. She's only deaf, right? Does she have anything else?
She was only deaf.
Yeah, she's not deaf, dumb, and blind. Healing Helen Keller.
Oh my god.
That's what they should have done.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so she's a deaf girl, and she can suddenly hear and start talking. And everyone's like, oh, it's the work of the Virgin Mary, because she says the name is Mary. The whole plot of the movie is a confusion that it's not actually Mary, it's a demon.
It's a demon. It's fucking spooky
spooky woman.
It's also called Mary.
Mary of Bannettfield.
Yeah.
Which is just a place in Boston, so it's not even important. But the plot never goes anywhere for like the first hour.
It is very slow.
She heals people, and then there's jump scares in between. It's not even like, like when you watch a horror movie and they reveal like the character. And like the whole movie, it's like, oh, he's learning stuff the whole movie. It's kind of like Sinister. And that's when the jump scares take place, like through the videotapes or scenarios.
Like every time he learns something.
Yeah, this movie he doesn't learn anything until they go to one of Alice's, which is the deaf girl. She starts getting miracles. She like brings a handicapped kid back to walking. She what else does she do? She stops her. She has like an uncle.
Yeah, her uncle.
He's a priest.
She heals his heart attack because he has a heart attack in the middle of.
He has a heart attack in the middle of church. And then she just helps him breathe, and then...
Goes, do you believe in Mary?
Yeah.
Will you give your soul to Mary?
And then he was like, I will. And then he started breathing, and then she leaned down, and then a jump scare came. And the jump scare is pointless.
There's so many jump scares that just do not make any sense. They're just there.
Usually the jump scares are like they're like, oh, I'm shocked, and this will continue me to look further into it. This jump scare happens, and then the old guy's like... And then it fades to white, and then it cuts to the hospital of his lungs, like, healing. Is like, this is him 6 months ago. His lungs are all fucked up. And then the next time, it's like, oh, they're healed.
There's, like, multiple...
and they just don't explain it.
There's multiple where they just happen, then they get startled, and it's just like, nothing happened.
And I thought there was going to be more dream sequences. He sleeps one night in the bed, and there's, like, that cliche where, like, rain falls and hits you through the roof. And they wake up, they're like, fuck, it's raining. He wakes up from... some of the worst CGI I've seen in a horror movie in like 5 years. This looked like a early 2000s horror movie CGI.
It looked like a pre-rendered cutscene for like a PlayStation 2 game.
I thought it looked like the first Resident Evil game. She comes out of the water, and then you just see her crawl, and she like jumps back and forth, and she gets really close to the screen, and her eyes are just.
And there's so many. When she like there's action involving her, she like teleports, but it's not like in the Ring where she kind of just. You can see like the frame in between. She goes from one place to another. It's almost with her. It's just like a straight cut.
Yeah,
they just like a whole different shot where it's just she's just in another spot.
They do that like 4 times. There's the scene, the main one that you're thinking is when Jeffrey D. Morgan's just figured out what the problem is. He goes to talk to Carrie Ells, who's from Saw and Princess Bride fame, and then this other guy who I don't know that actor, but he looks familiar. The other priest, and Carrie Ells' character's like, well, we have a service for Alice where she's gonna help these 200 people. They all get to pray and give their souls to Mary. And then he's like, well, we're not calling it off. But Jeffrey D. Morgan just learned before that scene, like, hey, Mary's a bad person. Oh my God. Through some of the also were CGI where she comes out of a statue's face and then it like refolds and then she just dives at one of the girls. And they do these shots because the girl, when she was hung, she had like a mask. They nailed a mask to her face. So you get like the eye hole shot, you know, like the original Halloween. When Michael's falling people, it's like that. But the camera moves like this, like zigzag, and you'll just see people go, ah! With that really shitty effect. And then Jeffrey D. Morgan tackles her out the room, and they fall like 1,000 feet out the door, nowhere near where the actual door was. And then that's when he goes to warn them. And then they're like, yeah, well, we can't cancel it. You're a lying journalist. No one will believe you anyway. And then because the priest who you think is a good guy is just a dickhead, everyone ends up going to the ceremony, and then you expect a big climax where they're all getting like cursed and they have to stop it. But they don't ever kind of stop it. It just never really happens. There
was no substance. There was more to the build up.
Then there was
they were literally building and dragging it for like 5 minutes of like her like giving out her speech, and then the dude coming in and like telling her like it was all a lie. It was all a lie. And then bam, it happens, and right after that, the rest of the sequence is like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, it's so short. She confesses to let Mary out. Which, by the way, Mary, you said looks like the Teletubby son.
She literally looked the son.
Yeah. Anytime that Mary tries to talk to her, she tries to like play off like she's angelic, like the like Virgin Mary, to trick everyone because she's not actually the Virgin Mary. She's the devil. So she'll like, it'll like show her like glowing, and you'll just see a creepy white face smile like.
Literally looks like the son.
It looks like me right now. If there was like a shitload of yellow light coming off me, I took off my glasses and I did. That's what it looked like. It looked like an elf. It looked like Elf on the Shelf, but like a giant glow. It looked like the Teletubby son, you know, the one that always goes there. He's like, hi, and then he's gone for the rest of the show. That's what it looked like. And even worse, especially in the white scenes when it wasn't like a yellow glow. In the white ones, it just looked like someone just threw white face paint on a person. You just see their eyes, and it's never scary. There's none of the scares work.
I was scared once because he was looking in the water. Then like a skull. No, looking back at it, I'm pretty sure that was her without the mask.
Her without the mask, yeah. You see most of the scenes you see her with the mask on, so you just see like the eyes and then like a black outline of the mask.
But everything else was very.
That didn't even scare me though. It caught me off guard. And then they try to get you twice because as soon as that jump scare happens, not even 2 seconds later,
he turns around.
He literally turns and he's like, "What?" And another one. And then he's just like, we have to talk about this. And then they talk about the doll. And he literally goes like, well, I found this corn doll. And you know how they're supposed to be for good luck. And then he's like, but this one had chains all wrapped around it. And it didn't look the same. And it had a fake date, which was February 31st. And then the girl immediately tells him like, well, there's some about good luck, but there's ones about bad luck too. There's specifically ones that have chains around them and have a fake date. I'm like, why didn't you just tell them, like, why didn't you just look at him shocked, like, what did you find? And then they go look for it? No, instead they have to have her say the exact same thing he just said, and point out how that means bad luck.
They're babying the audience so they know what
so
she's
much.
talking about.
They explain her backstory, like she was hung by a witch. They nailed a mask to her face.
Like we literally, that was
We've
the
seen the
first
scene.
thing
It
we
was
saw.
the opening scene, and then the credits come up. It's supposed to be memorable. There's a little girl driving on a mother's lap.
I hope. Oh my god, she's steering.
Please
oh my
don't. Oh my god,
Oh my
we're gonna
God.
die.
Oh my fucking
Guys,
god.
there's like a 5-year-old girl on their mom's lap steering the car.
Oh my god.
She fucking. Oh my god.
They crash into the.
Oh my god. I hope they're okay. Holy shit.
Let me pray.
Y'all can't see them. There's like a. Oh my god. I need to pray to Mary.
Let me pray. We gotta pray to Mary.
So the ending scene, basically the build-up is Jeffrey D. Morgan's a journalist. No one ever believes him because he used to do false stories. He's the only character that you have any sympathy for. Alice, you're just like, oh, she's deaf. That's your sympathy. The girl, yeah, the girl that he talks to a lot. I already don't even know her name.
Because
They don't give her any development. She's just there.
she's literally just there.
She's there to follow him. And you think there's gonna be a twist with her? They don't do. They're back over here. Holy shit.
This is.
I would film this, but I don't wanna.
What the fuck?
They're going. Okay. I'll keep this in the review because it's funny.
It's just us going.
That's how the kid lost his legs.
That's how the kid. Oh my god.
There's a kid, the kid I mentioned who is handicapped, and he loses like
his leg.
he can't walk, and they're like, because I guess they like were crossed. They weren't even like how they normally are. He starts to walk later in the movie, and then they're like, it's a miracle. Then the family doesn't want to be talked to because of publicity. They come back at the ending of the movie during that final ceremony for like the big religious event.
The best
and
part
she,
of the movie.
they are trying to get Mary. She has to say it 3 times to get everyone to be like, I believe in Mary. And if they do it 3 times, then Mary will come out and curse them all. She ends up going, no, it's the truth. None of this is real. I've been tricked. I've just been fooled by her. And then all the people in the audience start freaking out. A fire starts. You know Mary's about to show up. And everyone's just running. And then the kid, who was clearly walking 2 minutes ago, falls on the fucking floor. And I called this. I was like, he goes, God, Mom, I can't walk. I can't feel my legs. Mom, please.
That was so funny.
It was so intense. Funny.
Everyone's running.
There's a fire, and the kid stands up. He's like, "Oh no! Oh my mom!" He just falls over. I'm like, it's not supposed to be funny, but it's so poorly timed in the scene that I was laughing my ass off. And then, the inconsistencies with this fucking demon's power never add up. She can like spontaneously come through dreams, right? And then we explain that she comes through usually like other statues of other religious figures. Like that's how she gets her sentiment, because she's been offered into the church through Alice.
Yeah.
And then she shows up through a computer, and like the computer glitches and she jump scares the guy, and that's when he goes to look for her more. And then at the ending of the movie, she has like power. She can melt people. Like that's how she kills people. And Carrie Ells, he's like, I tries to stop her. He pulls out the cross. She just touches him in the chest, and he fucking dissolves. He just dies. Then she touches him on the chest. She pushes him right here, and then she starts touching his arm and his leg. And she does the hand, pushes him on the chest. And you're thinking, oh, well, they're gonna kill the main character now. But still, like, whenever she touches someone on the chest, that's supposed to kill them.
Yeah, I feel like her
or just
power is like
her.
if she touches you, like I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be like the heart. It will instantly
like the soul. Is that
like
the point?
Soul is
But they don't explain it well.
Yeah, I'm pretty
and
sure.
then she touches the other girl on the chest, like right here, right where they're supposed to do it. And the girl Alice, after she stops believing in her, they're running away. She touches her on the chest, and she doesn't die. She gets like a little mark, and then she passes out for a little bit, and then he does a prayer.
She technically she did die.
But why didn't she dissolve though?
I don't know.
Like it's the same power. Like was she just like, oh, she's a woman, let me just go easy on her. Maybe I'll pulsate her heart.
Let me go easy mode.
Let's turn this shit down. Because she should have killed her. She touched her in the same area that she touched Carrie Ells. I'm like, I don't get the point.
Well, that was probably the most disappointing part. Just that segment.
That climax was so boring.
And before the scene started, I'm like, please let this be good.
And then it was immediately funny.
I'm like, the build-up wasn't terrible.
It wasn't. The best scene of the... Actually, it was pretty terrible. The guy got crushed by the cross.
Okay, not that part. The actual fucking scene. Oh my god, that scene.
The scene is they're they're gonna burn the baby doll, and he lights the match, it fails, lights it again, there's someone behind him, lights a third one, and the fire goes, and it starts burning the cross of Jesus. And the cross flies off, falls straight down, and crushes the guy with, again, some of the worst CGI.
Worst, I actually can't.
It was like a PlayStation 2 game. Holy shit, every time. Every time they try to pull off like a big fire or grand effect, it looks horrible. When she starts first walking, when she's like, I don't believe in Mary, he's telling the truth. She comes out of the cross and she starts doing like the bendy shit, but it's like laggy. Like it's like jump cutting.
No, it was whenever.
What the fuck are they doing? Okay, sorry. They're driving in a circle now.
Yeah, it happens a lot when it comes to like Alice and Mary. It like stutters a bit when they're just walking, or just like even when it doesn't make sense for it to. She's just stuttering. Her literally walking and moving. I'm like, is she lagging?
They do jump cut a lot.
They do.
And then there's no. It really sucks. The first 40 minutes and the last 40 minutes I think are pretty bad. There's a few ideas that work in the final act, but the first 40 minutes I was like really bored. Jump scares aren't entertaining, unless they're like played for the reason to be fun. I don't think Annabelle Comes Home is a great movie, but I think it's certainly watchable because it's knowing that it's a haunted house film where everything comes to life. They have jokes in it. Ed and Lorraine Warren are likable, developed characters previously. The daughter is hinted at, and it's played by a different actress in that movie. Because the one who would have played her in Conjuring 1 would have been older.
Yeah.
And McKenna Grace, she's in the new Ghostbusters. We saw that trailer. That movie's fun. This movie, you don't have any liking, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a journalist who we get minimal development with. Alice is just deaf.
He has such a little development, and he's probably the most developed character.
All we know is he's a lying journalist, and he confesses, like, I wanted to do it just to be famous, and then he admits to it at the end. That's the message, and then it's fucking over.
It's so...
But they do, again, nothing with these characters. The CGI is all crappy.
They honestly could have just done away with the fucking...
I think they could have done no CGI. Yeah. I think maybe when the mask is on, it's not the worst looking effect. When they do like a close-up of the mask. But when they do like a zoom out, and then they show like when they do those fast-paced, gross effects, the fire, the grand stuff, when they just show the normal face, it looked really cheesy.
There's a scene where she's like not moving erratically, where like obviously just her moving normally, it didn't look terrible.
Because she was walking. You could tell it was like an actress. Yeah. And then when they pull off the mask, they have like these CGI...
It looked like...
Because it's like a melted face, and she has like weird teeth.
She looked like the dude from Tales of the Crypt.
She looked like that guy, but CGI, rather than like the turning skeleton with like the bumps on his face.
Really bad.
And I don't know why they did that. They could have pulled off a decent effect. They pull off nothing by doing it. If anything, it looks... It's a kid. It's adorable.
The kid's literally driving.
The kid is going to kill us. I think they're just trying to go around us to tempt us. Okay. I'm gonna film her when they come by again. This girl, she's fooling me. She's full. This is Mary.
This is Mary. Oh my god. She reverses.
She hit. There. It does open. The first scare is a car crash.
Yeah.
And it looks horrible because he's like driving. He didn't get the story he wanted. His alcohol rolls off. He goes, "Oh no!" He looks back up very quickly, and it's kind of like she's right in front of the car, like directly in front. Like if he went on another half a second,
he somehow went
like this right in front of her, but like suddenly he's like over here and he swerves off into the woods.
Yeah, it's very...
But like it was clearly in front of it just so they could get the jump scare of her standing there. And the way she's introduced too.
Jeez, they're going fast.
They really are. They're speeding. I think it's the mom. She's an awful...
Oh my god, that's fast.
They're gonna die one day. And they're gonna hit us.
Corner 911.
I think the idea of... They look like they're dimming. The idea of a religious horror film is kind of neat. It's funny they put it out on Good Friday. That's a good concept. That's to get people to go who are like, fuck religion. Yeah. I want to see the devil jump scare people.
To get the edge,
skipping church today. The edgy people. They even mentioned like an edgy teen, because the opening he's like, oh, is there Satanists who are hunting cows out there? And it's a Metallica paint. Because he's like, do you have a teenager son? That was a good joke.
That was good.
Making fun of edgy teens. Well, they make fun of country music.
Yeah.
Because fuck country music.
We hate country
She starts hearing, and then she goes like, my favorite genre is country. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan's like, oh, please start listening to other genres. You're giving me a heart attack.
Please expand your horizon.
Please start listening to real music. I don't want to hear Blake Shelton's Footloose. I want to hear the original. Overall, I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's always great in everything he does, even when the movie sucks or the show's bad.
Yeah.
He's always good. None of the actors were horrible. None of them were like, I was like, you should not be acting.
It's just more so like the actual...
characters are horrible.
Yeah.
I would like to see this director direct with a good budget. This had to be low. Like, this couldn't have been above $3 million.
Just look at the CGI.
It can't be above $3 million. There's no way. If this is above $3 million, I'm impressed. Because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I don't think you got to pay that guy $5 million to get him in a movie. Carrie Ells, he'll do those like $100,000 movies. None of the other actors are huge.
Yeah.
I guess the acting you pay like $1 million for, and this has to be a cheap movie. This is not above. If this is above $3 million, they really messed up. Invisible Man is done for $7 million, and the movie looks like it's a $20 million movie.
It looks so good.
It looks like a $20 million movie. What's another horror movie? The Conjuring 1 is like $5 million.
It was.
It's impressively great, and that's a 2013 movie. This is 2021. Visual effects, you just need to get the right people, or they're not spending the money wisely. There's something up with it. So, I don't know. What would you rate the movie out of? I don't know, like a 10.
Out of a 10.
You can do a letter grade if you want, like a B minus, stuff like
out
something
of a
like
10,
that.
I'd probably give it. Looking back at it, I'd probably give it like a 3.
A 3, 3 out of 10. I'll put that up.
He gives it a 3 out of 10.
I don't. Jeffrey D. Morgan's good. I can't give it.
I
can't give it like a 2.
The highlight.
I can't give it like a 2 or anything. That's really bad. This isn't like a horrible film.
It's not
ideas.
horrible.
There are ideas there that I'm like, that's neat. This could work. Jeffrey D. Morgan's good. The rest of the cast isn't horrible. There was one scene where some of the visual effects look really cool, like 1 or 2. I'm like, that looks neat. I didn't laugh at it. I wasn't making fun of it the whole time. Mom, I can't walk. Where are my legs? There
were some things that were just so ridiculously bad that it was entertaining.
Yeah, I think if you want to have like 10 friends over, it is a little slow. That could be the complaint. But if you want to have like a bunch of friends over, this is like not Wish Upon. This isn't Wish Upon or Bye Bye Man, where you can make fun of it in any scene they talk in. You're just like, that's awful.
Every scene.
What is the Wish Upon line? The one that's always funny. What, you dig on multiverse, bro?
Oh
Something like that. You dig on multiverse. Is there dialogue here that was awful? Was there like a line where I was like, that's really goofy? I mean, I can't feel my legs. It's pretty funny. That reminded me of Anchorman 2.
See, that's also the thing. Is most of the dialogue, it's not that it was bad, it's just boring.
It's boring. It doesn't go anywhere. The jump scares are useless and pointless. There's a way to do real scares. All the horror trailers, we showed 3. One of them looked kind of goofy, like it could be like this movie.
Yeah.
It's called Separation. I've never seen that trailer. It's like a clown with like a penis nose or something, hunting a family whose mom just died.
It looked cool.
I want to see it. The concept's funny. It looks like it could be good and awful in some areas. And then The Night House, which is like a really weird independent horror, looked good.
Oh shit, my brother.
He is? Epic.
All right.
We'll end the review. I would also give it a 3 out of 10. All the other horror movies coming out were good. A 3 out of 10.
We added up. It's a 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10.
Wait, are these my movies?
Are they? I think those are yours, yeah. Mine's over there.
Yeah, okay.
We bought movies. That was the main reason we came out, not for the Unholy.
Correct.
We'll see another movie soon.
Yeah.
3 out of 10. Sorry the review is abruptly ending. Bye, Gabriel.
See you tomorrow.
So, yeah. 3 out of 10. Don't watch this movie. I think maybe a rental. Like a matinee. If you are willing to go to theaters, like a $5 movie with friends could be fun. Or even a rental at Redbox, like a Dollar Tree. The movie kind of sucks ass, so I think a good review would be a 3 out of 10. It's about as good as what's a horror movie I could compare it to. Some mediocre. Insidious 4, where there's some ideas that work, some good acting, but the movie fails, so. I'll see you soon. I'll do more reviews like this. I'm going to see Mortal Kombat very soon, In the Earth, Voyagers. A lot this month, actually. Movies are coming out, so thank you for watching one review.
Mary, Mother of God, the Lord is with you.